Hi friends, welcome to the part 2 lecture of our unit number 6 of PPB, which is based on operational aspect of handling, clearing and collection and cash. So how clearing aspect we have covered in the part 1 lecture, everything about CTS. Today we will start with the RBI guidelines on collection, formulating check collection process, collection of account pay check, payment of check instrument loss in transit, bill for collection, cash and its custody. So every aspect about collection and cash we will discuss in this particular lecture. So let's get started with our first point, that RBI guidelines on collection of the instrument. So friends, did your check take too long to clear and when you lose interest? RBI say bank must have clear rule and sometime pay you if they delay. Let's break it down. So basically, what the RBI want from the bank? So RBI ask bank to write a clear check collection policy. Here you can see the keyword. Right. So there should be a clear check collection policy, which we call CCP, check collection policies. Okay. So basically that is the customer how the check will be handled. Okay. It is the customer how it will be handled, means how fast. So these answer few questions like how fast, when, right, immediate credit is given, how fast, when immediate credit is given, what compensation is paid if the bank delay. So everything is answered by the check collection policy. Then we have some points related to the immediate credit. There is something called immediate credit. You can see the word written here, immediate credit, which means the bank credit, which means add the check amount to your account quickly. Sometimes even before it is fully collected from the other bank. That is called immediate credit. Why bank do it? To help customer access money faster. But note, immediate credit involve the risk. Yes. There are risks which is involved in the immediate credit, like the check could bounce later. So the bank CCP, that is check collection policy, should say when and how they give immediate credit and whether there are any condition. Second thing, it answer time frame for collection. Time frame for collection of the local and outstation instrument. So two words are there, local and outstation. So what is the meaning of local check? Whenever I say this local check, it means check drawn on a branch. Check drawn on a branch within the same clearing grid. Check drawn on a branch within the same clearing grid or city. An outstation check means, that drawn on a branch in another city. It is drawn on a branch in another city or another grid. It usually takes longer, obviously. So the CCP should clearly state that expected time limit for collecting local and outstation check. Third thing is the interest and compensation, right? Interest and compensation for delayed collection. Suppose the bank delays collection beyond the time promised in the CCP. The bank must pay compensation, that is the interest, to the customer for that delay. So the compensation payable for the delay, right, by the bank. And RBI says that bank must include compensation for local check also, right? So RBI says that bank must include compensation for local check also. And if the CCP does not give a rate for compensation, the bank should pay at the saving interest rate. You can see clearly written it. So compensation at the saving interest rate should be paid. So let me give you some example to make it more clear. Suppose I say that saving interest rate is 4%. Okay. And suppose there is a check of suppose 5,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, right? It delayed by 5 days. So annual interest, how much will it be? So annual interest will be how much? It will be 50,000 multiplied by 0.04. That will be 2,000. So what will be for 5 days? So the interest for 5 days will be 2,000 divided by 365 multiplied by 5. That would be 27.40 approx. So basically this is just an example, right? So we have to check the bank CCP for detailed rule. I have given you an example that how the compensation should be paid. So, there are 3 broad principles that bank must follow. You can see we are talking about some broad principle. The first one is be comprehensive and be transparent, which means CCP must clearly explain that, CCP must clearly explain that immediate credit rule. It must explain the immediate credit rule, collection time frame and compensation rule so that customer know what to expect. See, immediate credit rule, immediate compensation rule, so that customer know what to expect. Second thing is to review and shorten collection time. Review the collection time and reduction in the collection period, which means banks should look at their processes and work to reduce how long check collection take. Third thing is protect the small depositor. Protect the interest of the small depositor, which means extra care must be taken so that a small depositor are not disadvantaged. So for example, faster redressal. Yes, how to do that? Faster redressal. This is one example. Clear notice. Right. So that is extra care to ensure that interest of the small depositor are protected. Let me give you one example. You can think of it like a shop promising same day delivery. That is the immediate credit. If they delay, they must compensate you. The bank policy should say when they will give delivery and what happen if they are late. So what we have discussed just now, let me just summarize. We started with the CCP, which is a check collection policy. I told you it must be clear, it must be public. Then we talked about immediate credit. What is the meaning of immediate credit? I told you immediate credit means bank must give money early. CCP must explain when, and bank must set the time frame for local and out of station check collection. Compensation for delay must be in the CCP. If not, specify saving interest rate apply. Then bank must review system to reduce delay and protect the small depositor. These are the points. So RBI asks bank to have a clear CCP telling you about immediate credit, collection time limit, and compensation for delay, and to protect a small depositor while shortening the collection time. Then we have collection of account pay check. See account pay written on a check. That is a strict instruction that it can only go to the named payee. Let's see why bank must obey it and what happens if someone asks otherwise. So first of all, you must understand what is the meaning of this account pay check. So whenever a check is made account pay, it means that money must be credited only to the bank account of the person named on the check. That is the payee, right? So it simply means that basically the amount must be credited. So the amount must be credited to the account of payee. So the person named on the check is called payee. So amount must be credited to the account of payee. So plain like it is like saying pay only to the X on the check. Now the question is why RBI prohibit credit to anyone else? Yes, very, very important. Why RBI do this? Why RBI has prohibited? Why? Let's answer this question. So to stop unauthorized collection. The first reason is to stop the unauthorized collection. Let me highlight it. Yes, this is the key point. To protect the bank from unauthorized collection. This is the first reason. Second thing is to protect the safety and soundness of the banking. Here you can see. To maintain the integrity, that is safety and soundness of the banking system. Third thing is to prevent the repeat of the past bad practices. And that is to prevent the recurrence of deviation observed in the past. So these are the three main reasons why RBI prohibit credit to anyone. Simple reason. To stop the unauthorized collection, to protect the safety and soundness, to prevent repeat of the past bad practices. So I hope this answers the question. Why RBI prohibit to credit to anyone? Second question, what the bank does if the drawer or the payee asks to credit to a different account? Yes, see, what banks should do? If the drawer or payee tell the bank to credit some other account, not the named payee, the bank must not simply do it. Instead, the bank should ask the drawer or payee to either give a fresh check. So either they should give the fresh check, or they should because a new check without account payee restriction, or to withdraw the account payee mandate, or to have the account payee mandate withdrawn, right? Only the drawer can make that change. The bank will not take the risk of paying someone else unless the check is reissued or instruction is formally withdrawn, right? So these two conditions must be met. Now the third question is, why bank insist on fresh check or mandate withdrawal? See, it prevents legal or financial liability for the bank if the check later turns out to be misused. It protects the true payee right and keep the payment system clean. Now the next question is, how the sub-member or sponsor member fit in? So here you will see two points, sub-member and the sponsor member. See what it means. I told you about there are three members in the last session I told you. In the clearing system, a small bank which are the sub-member sometimes present check through a sponsor member. For the account pay check, remember, deposited with the sub-member for credit to their customer, the sponsor member can collect this check in clearing house on the behalf of the sub-member. So what I am telling you, who can collect? So I just now I told you that these sponsor member, they can collect the check in the clearing house on the behalf of the sub member. Okay, the sponsor member, they can collect the check on the behalf of sub member. Simple thing is that a small bank can still get this check collected, but collection is done through a sponsor bank in clearing system. Let me give you one example to make this all clear. Suppose Mr. A, he wrote an account pay check to Mr. B. If the Mr. A later tell the teller to credit Mr. C account instead, so the bank will refuse. This question may be asked. Mr. A first write an account pay check to Mr. B and later Mr. A tell to credit the basically to credit Mr. C account instead, not Mr. B account. So bank will refuse and ask Mr. A for a new check. So it will ask Mr. A to give the new check or account pay restriction to be withdrawn. To withdraw the account pay restriction, the bank won't just transfer the money to Mr. C. That would be risky and against the RBI rule. So what we have just gone through, let me summarize. I told you account payee, this word simply means, credit only to the named payee. Second word, RBI ban, RBI prohibit crediting it to anyone else to prevent fraud and to protect the system. Next point, if the drawer of the or if the payee want credit to a different account, then bank asks for fresh check or withdrawal of the account pay mandate. One more point I told you that the sponsor member can collect account pay check deposited with the sub member at the clearing house. So account pay check protect pay. Bank must follow RBI rule and will only credit the named person. If you need money credit elsewhere, get a fresh check or withdraw the account pay instruction. Now let's switch our focus to the cash and its custody. Who watches the bank cash? It's not one person. It is a set of simple rules to keep the money safe. So first of all, where the cash is kept. So all the cash are stored in the strong room. You know it very well. So they must be kept in the strong room, right? This is the secure room where the bank keep its money stock. Now what about the dual or joint custody? Why two people? See, the strong room must be open and handled under joint custody. Usually the head cashier and the manager in charge, right? Both must be present whenever the strong room is open. The reason is, two people reduce the chance of theft or mistake and establish clear responsibility. What about the currency chest branches? See, when a branch has a currency chest, it is also kept under joint custody of two designated officers in charge. Same idea, two pair of eyes and signature. Who may accept cash at the counter? See, only the cashier and teller should receive money from the customer at the counter, right? So that is the point. And other staff should not accept cash. Notice bilingual and trilingual, right? Telling the customer that this must be displayed clearly at this branch near the cash area and at the entrance. What are the tools for avoiding human error? Yes, very, very important. So note counting machines should be there so that note are counted correctly and quickly. This reduces mistake and speed the service. Now what about the strong room? Obviously, there is a single locker for cashier hand balance. So the small cash tray that a cashier use, that is called, hand balance. Okay. A small cash tray is allowed to be under the cashier single lock only. Everything large stays in the strong room under joint lock. Now what about the custody checklist? See, dual custody means accountability. Single lock for hand balance, right? And here you can see. Yes, you can see. Only the acceptable use for cash hand balance would be under a single lock. That is called, single lock for hand balance, practical daily use but limited exposure. And signage and restricted receipt of the cash for transparency of the customer. And note counter, speed plus few error. You can think of the strong room like a safe deposit box that needs two keys turn at once. That way one person can't open it alone, right? So remember, cash and a small coin kept in the strong room, it should be joint custody. Currency chest, two designated officer in charge for joint custody. Only cashier and teller accept money at the counter. They should be clearly displayed at the notice, prominently displayed at the branch. And cashier hand balance, single lock receptacle only. Right, these are the key points. Now friends, let's talk about the cash or the cash balance of the bank. So who actually watches over a bank cash? It is not one person. It is a careful routine that keep money safe. Let's break it down. So basically you will learn where most cash is kept, what a cashier hand balance is, how supervisor check notes, and how notes are sorted. So first of all, where most cash stay, right? Where bulk of the cash stay? Let's answer this question. Where most cash stays? The bulk of the cash stays at the cashier hand at the in the strong room or safe under the joint custody, right? It either stay in the strong room or safe under joint custody. Only a small cash amount, which is the cash hand balance, should be kept right with the cashier, stays with the cashier for routine transaction, right? And the hand balance is kept as low as is convenient, as low as conveniently possible. Now the question is, why keep most cash in one place? Very good question. Storing the bulk in the strong room reduces the risk, right? So if we store the bulk in the cash room, it reduces the risk, theft, mistake, and create clear responsibility because two people must open it together. Now checking cash before it join the joint custody. Yes, checking of the cash balance. So before notes and coin go into the joint custody balance, a supervising official, right? What they do, they check them for correctness. This protect everyone and prevent counting error from being logged into the safe. Now, counting method. So what kind of method is used? Note above 500 rupees are personally counted by the supervising official so that high value notes are verified carefully. So you can see note denomination above rupees 100, right, will be personally counted by the supervising official. For a smaller denomination, the bank uses the clip system, right? The bank uses the clip system, which means each packet has a few notes clipped at the top as a sample. Another employee count the packet. The supervisor then verify the total by counting the clipped notes. This gives a reliable and fast cross check without counting every single note. So clip system is used for denomination less than 100 rupees, the smaller denomination. Each packet has a few notes clipped at the top as a sample. Okay. So you can see few notes in this packet are clipped together at the top, right? And another employee count the packet. The supervisor then verify the total by counting the clipped or sample notes. Now, then we have the sorting notes into three piles, or we call it three categories, right? The first one is issuable. Issuable means fit for further use. Second is soil, which means dirty or worn but usable. And last is mutilated, which means torn and damaged. So these are the three categories. Mutilated means, torn or damaged. Issuable means what, Issuable means fit for further use. And soil means dirty or worn, but usable. So each category is usually marked by a different color slip so that a staff can quickly see how to handle each packet. So, there are colorable, different color denomination slip for this category. Issuable, soiled, and mutilated. Mutilated means torn and damaged, right? So these are the points. So you can think of the strong room like a restaurant main pantry, logged, and the cashier hand balance like the tiny change drawer on the counter. So the pantry is under two manager key, and the small drawer is for day-to-day use. So what we have just discussed, let me just summarize. I started with the bulk of cash balance. So I told you that the bulk of cash balance should be kept in the strong room, right? They should be in the strong room under the joint custody. Second thing I told you, there should be the cashier hand balance. Okay. Cashier hand balance for a small daily cash with the cashier hand balance. Then we talk about the supervising official. He personally count note above rupees 100 and clip system is used to verify packet of the smaller note. And notes sorted into issuable, mutilated and soiled. These are the three categories. Now, then we talk about the next part. So friends, before a bank lock it cash away, someone check every note, especially the big note. So why we check before joint custody? Before cash goes into the joint safe, a supervising officer verify the notes so that bank don't lock in counting mistake or bad notes. Counting the high value note, I told you that supervisor personally count every note above 100 rupees. Clip system is used. Sorting note into three piles. Right, these are the points which you have just cleared now. Yes, at the end of the day match. So let's talk about the end of the day, close of the working day. So what it means, at the close of the day, the supervising officer ensured the total cash kept in the joint custody exactly match the number in the cash balance book. So they should be basically match. What they should match? The cash which is kept in the joint custody. The cash which is kept in the joint custody. They should exactly match the number in the cash balance book. Okay, plain. Simple thing is that the physical cash total must equal to the book total. No surprise should be there. And also, they should check the cashier hand balance and the loose packets. You can see, just two things should be checked. Cashier hand balance and also the loose packets. Which means the supervisor check the cashier hand balance, which is the small tray of the loose notes and the loose bundle inside it. They initially sign against each item in the cash balance book to show they check it personally. Plus supervisor verify the small daily cash too and mark the book so that there is an audit trail. Now gross check before closing the strong room. Right. So here is called, the word is called gross check. You can see the word written here. What is the meaning of gross check? Before locking the strong room or safe, the supervising officer plus the head cashier, he check all the bundle in the vault against the reserve cash register. He check all the bundle against the reserve cash register, right? And the final head-to-head count of the what is in the vault versus what the register say. And weekly full check chest. So besides that, there is a weekly at least once in a week. That is called weekly full test check. At least once in a week on a rotating schedule, right? It should be conducted. So not the same day is which branch the officer in charge does a test check of the whole bank cash balance. They test different denomination and verify the register entry and then sign and date the cash balance book as a proof. Okay, they sign the cash balance book as a proof. Now what about the shortage or excess of the cash? See, to reduce the human error, bank record the denomination wise number of notes. Bank record denomination wise number of pieces. Like how many 2000, how many 500, how many 200 for every receipt and for every payment. Okay. So both on the voucher, that is the deposit and withdrawal slip, as well as in the cash register. So everywhere it should be recorded denomination wise. You can see voucher as well as the cash register. This denomination record help instantly spot where an error happened. If the final total in the saw is short or extra, you can see which denomination is off and trace the slip or transaction. Right. You can locate the cause of the error. In any case, excess or shortfall is noticed. Right. You can think of basically a shop closing its cash drawer. The manager check the till, sign the closing sheet, count the big bill personally. It does a full final check in the safe and compare note with the daily receipt. So basically what we have just talked down, let me just summarize. I told you that the supervisor must match the joint custody balance. So that is called joint custody balance. They must match the joint custody balance. Okay. Supervisor check hand balance plus loose packet and initial the book. So they should check the hand balance. They should check the loose notes, right? And initial. They should also initial the notes. You can see the initial against the item check. And now weekly test check is also considered. At least once a week the test should be considered. Officer check the denomination, sign and dates. And we should record the denomination wise check. Denomination wise number of pieces should be recorded. I hope that answered your question. Now let's see the next question, next concept. So found a shortage or found extra cash at the day in, bank have a clear step by step to how to fix it. So detect and try to fix with the customer first. If the difference can't be fixed with the customer, for example, customer say they paid rupees 500, but the record show 450. So the bank follow the rules below. So any shortage is recovered on the same day from the cash officer or head cashier, who in turn will recover it from the concerned employee. See, first the shortage is recovered on the same day from the senior cash people. It is recovered on the same day from the senior cash people. Okay. So like cash officer, right? See, senior cash people is the cash officer or the head cashier or the cashier, right? Those people will then find and recover the missing money from the staff member who is responsible. If it was a staff error. If not recovered the same day, right? If not recovered the same day, the amount of shortage should be debited to the suspense account. You can see the amount of shortage should be debited to the suspense account, which means, that if you can't collect the shortage immediately, the bank should book the amount to the suspense account. It should also record the name, signature of the staff responsible on the back of the voucher and report the issue to the head office. Right. So they should also report the issue to the head office. Okay. When money is later recovered, the suspense account is clear. Right. So simple thing is that suspense account is a temporary holding place in the book until the missing cash is found. Any excess in the cash balance, right? So it should be credited to the sundry deposit account. Any excess balance should be credited to the sundry deposit account. You can see written here on the same day. If the customer complain later that they were short paid and bank verify the complaint is genuine, the bank pay them by debiting the sundry deposit account. So sundry deposit account is a temporary place to keep unexpected extra money until the right owner is found. Now, then we have the remittance of the cash. So only authorized staff may carry cash. What I want to tell you that cash sent from one office to another must be given to trusted authorized employee only. You can see authorized employees should be trusted and avoid risky travel pattern, avoid night journey, avoid unusual halt at junction. This lower the robbery risk and use the bank van and the secure the box. Right. It should be in the bank van. So basically, always use the bank vehicle. The remittance box must be chained and locked to the fixed point inside the van. Keep the remittance registered. Which means maintain a register logging every cash remittance to or from the branches, date, amount, who carried it, receipt number. This create a traceable paper trail. Suppose at the day end, the cashier find 200 rupees short. First, the bank asks the head cashier to cover and recover from the staff. If not found, 200 goes to the suspense account and the head office is told. If someone later find an extra 200, it goes to the Sunday depositor until the rightful owner is identified. So these are the points. Now we have the cash replenishment. Let's understand this concept of cash replenishment. So ever reach an ATM and found that cash out? That is why cash replenishment rule exists. So first of all, why regular ATM refill matter? ATM must have enough cash so that customer don't face cash out problem, right? So, but bank also avoid leaving too much unused cash in the ATM, right? So there should be adequate amount of cash is important, right? To maintain uninterrupted service. So who carried the cash? So see, the rule is that only authorized screened staff handle ATM cash transfer. The staff are background checked and their photo plus biometric detail are recorded so that we know exactly who handled the money. So if we talk about the handling the cash, so only authorized and screened staff. Authorized and screened staff, they only handle the cash transfer. The staff are background checked and their photo plus biometric detail are recorded so that we know exactly who handled the money. Now there is a 2% rule. What is the meaning of 2% rule? Cash is loaded into the ATM cassettes, right? So there are some bins or we call it cassettes. Yes, you can see now clearly written. It should be done in the presence of at least 2%, right? So basically cash is loaded in the presence of at least 2 people. And basically this give the witness and prevent fraud or mistake. One person fill, another verify. And when the ATM is opened, a user report is made and saved whenever ATM is opened, right? It records the date and time the machine was opened. And after cash is loaded, a cash balance receipt, right? So which is a printout is produced showing how much was put in. That is a cash balance receipt is printed. And then investigating the cash shortage. See, if the machine show that less cash than the expected, the bank check. Suppose the machine show that less cash as compared to the expected one. What bank will do? Bank will then check. What bank will check? First of all, bank will check basically the server report, right? The bank will check the server report. means the central system record. And bank will also check the ATM log on site, which means the local machine record. Any shortfall are thoroughly investigated using these record and a staff who handle the refill. And you should avoid the late idle cash, which means that bank plan refill quantity so that there is enough cash but not a large unutilized stock sitting in the ATM for long. That reduces the risk and the cost. So you can think of ATM like a cafe cash box. Trusted staff refill it. 2% count the cash together and a receipt is printed and the log book is checked if anything is missing. So ultra short memory revision points. First of all, refill ATM enough to avoid the cash out. Yes, cash out should be avoided. So avoid the cash out situation. Only authorized and screened staff handle the cash. Okay. So this is the very important point. Bin filling should be done by at least 2%. Right. It should be done by at least 2%. And a user report is saved. Cash balance receipt are printed after replenishment. Cash balance receipt are printed. And if shortage, check the server report and also check the ATM log on site. Plan refill sizes. Avoid large unused cash at ATM. So if something goes wrong. So basically, let's learn how ATM are monitored. What is the meaning of T+3 reconciliation? When video footage is used. And the insurance rule for cash in van, vault and counter. First thing is the central monitoring and reconciliation. So a centralized department matches the book balance. So there is a centralized department. And what it does, it matches the book balance with the machine balance. So two things are there. A book balance and machine balance. You can see balance as per the book and the ATM machine. And why and who does it? Centralized department does it. The goal is to catch the difference early and fix them fast. That is our goal. Right. So book balance and ATM machine balance, they are matched by the centralized department. Now always ensure, right? It is always covered by the insurance, which means ATM cash and cash in transit. That means cash inside the ATM and cash on the way are covered by the insurance. Now, if the cash management is outsourced, so basically, where the cash management of the ATM is outsourced, so when a vendor manages ATM cash, all the transactions are reconciled at least on 3+1 basis, right? So reconciliation is done at least on T+3 basis. So what I'm telling you, that when a vendor manages ATM cash, all the transactions are reconciled at least on T+3 basis. So what is the meaning of T+3? See, it simply means transaction is T, right? Let me explain. T is the transaction day. So T, which means transaction date, right? Transaction day plus 3. 3 means extra working day. 3 means working day. Okay. So T+3 basis. To finish the matching record between the banks. Yes, we are talking about the matching record. Just now I told you now that balance has to be matched. Balance as per the book and balance as per the ATM machine. Both has to be matched. Okay. And it has to be done in T+3 days, which means transaction day plus 3 working day to finish matching record between the bank, the service provider and the subcontractor. So matching is done between these three entities. Let me show you. The first one is the bank, the service provider and subcontractor, right? And if there is a dispute, then if number don't agree. So how much was loaded, how much was removed, number don't agree. Then in that case, CCTV footage is required. In this case, CCTV footage is required to resolve the issue. Now let's talk about the insurance rule. What is the rule regarding the insurance? So, there is a blanket policy for cash on the move. Let me highlight it. It is covered under the blanket insurance policy. What is the meaning of it? All the cash remittance in transit are covered by the bank's blanket insurance policy. So there is a term which we call as do not exceed the per carriage limit. Right. One carriage is not exceeded under any circumstance. So what it means, first of all, what is the blanket policy? So the policy fixes a maximum limit for any one carriage. The maximum limit for any one carriage. which means one trip. Yes, there is a maximum limit for one trip. Okay, or one consignment. There is a maximum limit for one trip or one consignment. Never load more than the limit in a single run. Next point is stay within the ensured limit in branch. Here is the point. It should be kept within the ensured limits and directed by the head office. So cash in the safe, cash on the counter, it must be kept within the ensured limit. Please remember it. Okay, it must be kept within the ensured limit. Which is the, and this limit is set by the head office. So don't hold more than the policy cover, blanket cover policy. Now, no access beyond the cover. Which means if you need to hold hold or move more cash, increase the cover first or split the cash into separate insured consignment. So cash should be taken to ensure that no cash over the insured limit is kept. You can think of insurance like a raincoat with size level. If you carry more than it covered, you will get weight. Simple explanation. So what we have talked just now, let me just recapitulate. So we have started with, central team machine. Central team matches book value versus the machine balance. Two balance are being matched. One is the book machine. Sorry. One is the machine book. Other is the, book versus machine balance. Book balance and machine balance. So this is centralized department they match. ATM cash and cash in transit are ensured. Okay. And also outsource ATM, you must reconcile by T+3 basis, which is T is the transaction date. CCTV footage can settle refill dispense dispute, and blanket policy cover cash in transit never exceed per carriage limit. And then we talk about the blanket policy. Safe and counter cash must stay within the ensured limit, which is set by the HO. And if more cash is required, either you raise the cover or split the consignment. Right? These are the points. So monitor balance centrally, reconcile outsource ATM by T+3, use CCTV for dispute, and always keep cash holding within the insurance limit. Right? So remember, these are the key points. Now, let's talk about the custody of the cash. Custody of the key. Yes, very important. So friends, who hold the bank key? It is not free for all. There is a tight, sensible routine so that the safe stays safe. Now, repair under supervision. If any work is done on the strong room or safe, it must be done under the personal supervision of the manager and so who will supervise it? The manager will supervise it and the cash officer, head cashier will supervise it. And one person should never be alone with the safe during repair. Two responsible official watches the whole job. Any lock or any lever change must be recorded. So here you can see the key point. Lock is changed or lever of the lock is changed. It must be noted in the key register. So write it down. So there is an audit trail showing who has changed what and when. Yes. So there should be, basically the purpose is that there should be the audit trail regarding that who has changed what and when. Then preparing the duplicate key. Right. Very important. So what it means, what it happened, So the official who hold key, they pack their duplicate key individually in a strong cloth lined envelope. They pack their duplicate key. You can see, will pack their, just let me remove it. Right, you can see clearly written. They will pack a duplicate key in a stock cloth lined envelope, which will be sealed by them with their seals. So each duplicate is sealed by the key holder so that nobody can slip it out later without leaving a mark. And these sealed envelopes are placed in a strong wooden or tin box. This sealed packet must be placed in a strong wooden or tin box, which is located, right, which is secured and wrapped in a waterproof cloth. Then we have, off-site custody of the duplicate key box. Yes. So what it means, the box of the duplicate key should not stay in the same branch. It is kept in the safe custody at another local branch. So the duplicate key should be kept in the safe custody of the local branch. You can see clearly written here, right? And one more thing is that the receiving branch must get written instruction for safe custody signed by the manager or supervising official whose key are deposited therein. Why all this matter? Because these steps give a clear chain of custody, preventing one person. It prevents one person of misuse, theft. Right. It prevents one person of misuse, theft, and preserve evidence if something goes wrong. So you can think of the duplicate key like a spare house key kept with a trusted neighbor. But here, the neighbor is another bank branch, the spare is sealed, and there is a full written record. So ultra short revision points for revision. I told you that repair must be supervised by the manager plus cash officer plus head cashier or cashier. And then I told you that lock or lever change, note in the key register immediately. Then duplicate key. What is the duplicate key? So they are sealed cloth lined envelope with official seal. Then sealed envelope is the strong wooden or tin box locked plus wrapped waterproof. And you know, box are kept offside, another local branch or another bank under the signed instruction. Purpose is to maintain chain of custody. So what I told you, always supervise repair, log every lock change, seal duplicate key, store the sealed box offside with signed instruction. Simple rule that make a strong custody system. Now friends, spare key, ATM skimmer, and where a branch sit. A small detail that keep your money safe. First of all, delivery instruction. Yes, let's talk about the instruction for delivery, clearly written here. So what to do? The branch that keep the duplicate key box offsite must also receive a delivery instruction letter. Who write it? The letter is signed by all the officials who hold the key. Why? This gives them clear written instruction about when and how the box may be opened or box may be returned, so that no confusion or misuse later. So what I told you, that seal the key box, send it to the other branch, send a signed delivery letter so that everyone knows the rule. Now let's talk about the skimming. So these are some security measures at the branches and ATM. The first one is called, skimming. So basically, what is the meaning of skimming? Skimming simply means, a fraudster fitting a small delivery device on an ATM or card reader to copy the card data and sometimes a tiny camera to capture your PIN. So remember, when I say skimming, just remember a few points. What is the meaning of skimming? Skimming means suppose there is a fraudster and what he is doing, he is fitting a small device. He is fitting a small device on an ATM or card reader to copy the card data. A small device is being fitted to copy the card data. Plus sometimes, a tiny camera. A tiny camera is fitted to capture your PIN. So with card data plus PIN, thieves can clone card or withdraw money. So what are some quick prevention tips? See, always seal your PIN with your hand without while typing. So always seal your PIN with your hand. Look for any tampering. So loses card slot, extra sticker, old device on the keypad. If something looks wrong, don't use it. And there is a role of the bank also. Install anti-skimming hardware, regular machine inspection, CCTV, tamper seal, update software frequently. And if anything is suspicious, report immediately to the branch helpline. So I hope this concept about skimming is clear. Now location and layout, what bank should check? Yes, here is very important thing. I talked about skimming. Skimming, just I told you that it means fraudster fitting a small device on an ATM card to copy the card data and sometimes a tiny camera to capture your PIN. So always seal your PIN, look for tampering, loose card slot, extra sticker or device on the keypad. So banks should install anti-skimming hardware, regular machine inspection, CCTV, tamper seal, and if suspicious, report immediately to the branch. Now, location and related. So choose safe location. Branches and currency chest should be sited with safety in mind. Then consult the police. Right. So I think this is a very important thing should be chosen, keeping the safety in mind. I think we have discussed it. Right. And the police authority, which means, that consult the police before opening a branch. Branch should get local police security is required. So police authority should be consulted before deciding on a location for a branch. Then proximity to police station and functional communication. Right. See, being close to a police station help quick response. Then practical layout point, clear sight line, no blind corner, a secure ATM enclosure, good lighting, CCTV covering doors, and ATM fronts. Everything should be there. So what I have told you, deliver duplicate key box with a signed letter from all the key holders. Skimming means stealing the card data plus the pin. Then how to avoid it? Seal the pin. Check for tamper. Check for any report. Bank must consult police. Pick safe location. Keep good communication. And layout must include CCTV, good lighting, clear sighting, and secure ATM enclosure. So seal and send duplicate key with a signed delivery letter. Watch and prevent ATM skimming. Pick safe branch site and consult police. Simple steps that protect everyone. So friends, good branch design and the right fitting keeps your money and the staff safe. So in this quick explainer, we will learn how a branch should be laid out for security and which proactive fitting. Let's discuss. First of all, layout. The branch layout, which is the manager cabin, cash vault, strong room, cashier cabin, entry exit point, should be planned so that each area is visible and secure. Then we have the manager cabin. We can see clearly written. So manager cabin should be preferably be in a corner near the main entrance. Why? From there, manager gets a clear view of the whole banking hall and can watch who comes in and what happened at the counters. Now, what about the cash vault? What about the cash vault and cashier cabin? See, cash vault or strong room must be placed where access is limited and supervised. And cashier cabin should face the vault. Now, what about the proactive fitting or some protective fitting? You can see protective fitting. So, a strong shutter at the main entrance secure the branch after hours and act like the first physical barrier. So, a strong shutter should be there. Such as you can see shutter gate. Next, we have fit a collapsible gate with chain and lock, which means, fit a collapsible gate with chain and lock, which allow only about an 18-inch opening when closed. Why? A small opening let the staff hand over receipt of a document without letting people rush in. Control access during business or when extra security is required. Then the grill gate for a strong room. So a strong room should have a grill gates. So it should have a grill gate in addition to the lock so that the vault area is physically separated and visible to supervisor while being secure.